It's like you're screaming, and no one can hear you. You almost feel ashamed that something can be that important to you that without it, you feel nothing. And I've built my life around chasing the high. I wouldn't call it an addiction. I'd call it my normality.
It's my purse, then you're stealing things from the
Something
house.
hurts your body so bad it stops hurting and you start to shut down. The only thing that feels close to living is something that is actually killing you.
Do you think this is...
It's like you're looking into darkness and you can't find a way out.
What is this?
Everyone around you starts to distance themselves, even your own family turn their back on you. Because the truth is, you're not their little girl, you're just someone.
Having lost some very close dear friends to the menace of drug abuse, and also with the alarming increasing rate of drug abuse amongst the youth on the plateau, the Cornerstone Workshop took it upon themselves to celebrate with the international bodies the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. My name is Adanma Nwokorie, and I'm the founder of the Cornerstone Workshop. The 26th of June is celebrated by the United Nations every year for drug abuse and illicit trafficking. The World Health Organization reports that the harmful use of alcohol results in 3.3 million deaths every year.
Too much of alcoholism can now bring depression.
On the average, each person in the world from age 15 has had about 6.2 liters of pure alcohol each year. We have about 31 million people who are suffering from drug abuse disorders. We also have about 11 million people in the world who are injecting drugs. 1.3 of those people are living with HIV. 5.5 of those people are living with hepatitis C. And 1 million of those people are living with HIV and hepatitis C.
You have depressants like alcohol, opioids, those drugs we take for pain relief. Some people take them in excess to get that feeling of highness, so they abuse them. Yes, tramadol. You have stimulants like cocaine, meth, marijuana, nicotine.
Down to West Africa, Nigeria, it was reported that 15% of the adult population, which is about 14.3 million, were reported to have had psychoactive drug substances.
I have a question.
Yes.
All right, let's hear a question.
I heard that some people say that alcohol that it used to develop the brain. Is it true?
My name is Norris Jide. I'm an SS2. I attend ITF Staff School. Well, I've actually benefited a lot from this project, from this program we actually had today, from drug abuse and alcoholism. I learned that getting yourself involved in alcoholism is not actually a good thing. I've learned the disorders it causes the body. It actually destroy your liver and also stop blood to run into your brain properly, usually goes into causing stroke.
Alcohol, like I said in the beginning, is among the class of drugs called depressant. Now what happens, when you take alcohol, it reduces the normal activity of your brain. So something that reduces the normal activity of your brain, how does it develop your brain? So I'm throwing the question back to you, does alcohol develop the brain?
Which is much more than the report of the previous year, which had 5.6%. With cannabis being the most widely used drug, cocaine, heroin, and the non-medical use of prescription opioids, these were noted. And this survey excludes the use of tobacco and alcohol.
My name is Naomi Abel, and I'm in SS1C, Rantia High School. So I've learned a lot today. I learned the meaning of drug abuse, what a drug means, different types of drugs, harmful and illegal drugs, and also learned purpose finding, how to find my passion.
In addition to teaching them about drug abuse, we discovered that there are certain foundations that need to be laid to help them overcome the pressure of drug abuse. We spoke about finding self-esteem.
You have a good self-esteem, you know why you are here. You know why you are here, what you were created to do. You know that you are not here to play transit. You know that you are not here to indulge in drug abuse. You know that you are not here to be involved in unwanted pregnancies or premarital sexual activities. You know that you are not here to engage in things that will not help you educationally or academically.
And finding purpose. In getting a good self-esteem, we talked about the problems and possible ways to come out of having a bad self-esteem. And then we talked about finding purpose and the 7 questions in life. And the students reacted really positively. And I know that we have been able to make an impact on these young ones.
I would like to tell my colleagues, my classmates, to stay away from drugs abuse so that they will achieve their academic dream in life.
My name is Guyuol Nathaniel from High School in SS2. I intend to stop drug abuse in Nigeria by spreading this in social media platforms and in our society as well.
Because the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
We shouldn't follow bad friends that will lead us to drugs, and then we should be able to define our purpose on earth.
I learned a lot about drug abuse today, and I want to advise everyone out there that drug abuse is not the best solution to everything. If you feel you are depressed in any way, you can meet your teachers as well as your parents.
Think drug abuse. Abusing of drugs is the best solution to our problems. We should always calm down, look for a counselor. If we don't have any, we can go to our parents. That's if we're close to our parents. And look for someone who is of good behavior to help us and talk to us and calm us down on what to do.
Well, abusing drugs is just like shortening your life.
Drug use habits in Nigeria has devolved with the youth resorting to potent mixtures of several drugs at the risk of fatal overdoses. For example, gutter water is a widely consumed cocktail of drugs. It involves a concoction of different kinds of drugs. For example, codeine, tramadol, rofinol, cannabis, water, or juice. And it doesn't end here. The youth have also resolved to improvise with other things like sniffing of petrol, sewage, smoking of lizard parts and dungs.
Now, there are various parts of our brain that these drugs affect. The brain continues to grow in adolescence. Now, the brain stops growing when we are kids, and then when we reach adolescent stage, like what the stage you are now, the brain starts growing again. There's a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex that is not mature. When you are an adolescent, it begins to mature. Now, when you take that prefrontal cortex, do you know what it's used for? It helps. That's why when that place is mature, you begin to take decisions the right way. You begin to have a self-consciousness. You begin to know, it modulates working memory, organization, mood. It even helps you learn habits, So now you will not take drugs and affect that prefrontal cortex. What will happen to you? All those things that the prefrontal cortex is supposed to do will no longer happen. There are other parts of the brain that drugs affect. There's what we call basal ganglia. The drugs also affect it. Basal ganglia is responsible for procedural learning, habit learning, eye movement, cognition, to be aware of your environment, emotions. When you take drugs, these drugs destroy those things.
And the estimated number of drug users in Nigeria, for cannabis we have 10.6 million, and for opioids we have 4.6 million. We also have cough syrups of 2.3 million, to mention but a few.
That's why you see drug addicts, they are very thin, they are very moody, they are very sick, because nothing gives them pleasure. They are food, they don't like eating again, they just want to take that drug. Normally when you eat food, when you are very hungry and they give you your best food and you eat, you feel pleasure, you'll be very happy. But when you take drugs, the drug affects that basal ganglia, and nothing in this life gives you joy again until you take that drug.
And the common drugs that destroy the future of the youths on the plateau include goskolo, which is a local concussion, cigarettes, cannabis, codeine, tramadol, and of course, excessive alcohol. And it has been discovered that the age range is between 12 to 30 years. And that is why the Cornerstone Workshop decided to reach out to the teenagers, because we believe that prevention is always the best measure. So we went out to schools, to secondary schools on the plateau, went to 3 schools to reach out to the young ones. We may not be able to stop the spread of drug abuse, but then we can prevent it from increasing, and that is what we did.
It has been a wonderful experience with the Cornerstone. The workshop on drug and drug-related issues has been a very interesting one. It was all-encompassing, and I want to believe my students will have gathered much, and will have gained much to be able to share with their friends, as well as imbibe virtues that will help them later in life. The society as we know it today has its own challenges, particularly the menace on the streets and our homes. And I think family, being the unit of all socialization, should first and foremost be greeted with the norms and virtue that the society requires.
After teaching them about the teenage brain and the effects of drug abuse and alcohol on them, we made the teenagers and the students take an oath of commitment to stay away from activities that will damage their brain. In other words, cutting short their path to destiny. And they swore to keep by it.
Would you like to abuse drugs? Would you like to abuse drugs? No. Would you like your prefrontal cortex to not be developed? Would you like your basal ganglia to be affected? Would you like your brain to be affected? So let us stand up and say these commitments together. So you are going to call your name.
Commit to abstain. From activities. That will hurt my brain. Drugs.
Underage drinking. I will also take a proactive role. In preventing these types of activities.
So we eventually were able to achieve setting up a drug club. A lot of students were so excited to sign up for the drug club. We reached out to 3 schools with a total number of 274 students on the plateau.
Happy Drug Abuse Day! Say no to drug abuse! Happy Anti-Drug Abuse Day! Say no to drug abuse! Happy Anti-Drug Abuse Day! Say no to drug abuse!
I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that supported, to my teammates, Jaxie, Victor, Blessing Oshevire, Adobe, Douglas, Naomi, Salome. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Lashom. I really and sincerely appreciate every one of you. To those who supported financially and in other ways, I really want to say a big thank you to Plateau Model High School, to Rantia High School, and also to ITF Staff School. Mr. Leo Ogu, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who came through. And there's still room for more support. Thank you, Shots by Bravo, for being readily available. I just want to say thank you so much. I mean, this wouldn't have been accepted if not for you. Thank you so much.